was so, known around the world really for finally stumbling upon that beach in Key West after trying that Cuba swim expedition dream for 35 years and failing 4 times. I would imagine the oration that I would give on the beach if I finally did make it to the other shore, but the truth is it didn't happen that way. I was stunned by the emotion of it all, by the physical duress of it all, and the first words I said to those screaming people on that beach were, we, meaning all of us, should never, ever give up. When I was 14, I didn't know at that time that my talent as an athlete was going to be swimming over the curvature of the earth, with a steel trap mind. And I was dreaming of the Olympics. I quite, dedicated myself to that vision. Every single day, got up at 4:30 in the morning, Christmas Day included. There was never a day I didn't get up at 4:30. I got to swim practice first because I wanted to be first. I wanted to work the hardest. And my coach thought I was going to be one of the best in the world. He was my champion, and I was his champion. I'm somewhat reluctant, to dwell on, the poor me and the things that happened to me. And on the other hand, I can't live anybody else's life but my own. And I can't have the psychological makeup of anybody else but myself. So yes, I went through trauma, and that first attack, that first sexual molestation by my coach, this father figure of mine, it was devastating isn't strong enough. It was a debilitating moment. You can say it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It doesn't matter. You're a child at the time, and you take it as your fault. It's just what the syndrome is of shame. I told my mom. She either didn't believe me or it was much too much for her to take. And so I started to escape. I started to be somewhere else. I started to be someone else. But swimming was my safe place. When I got in the pool or out in the ocean, all my fears went away. I was absolutely safe. Nobody could touch me. Nobody could talk to me, look at me sideways. I expressed my anger out there. I would stop in the middle of a set of 400s and slap the water and go underwater and scream, at the top of my lungs. And when I was 17, I knew by the time the last 100-meter backstroke before the Olympic trials was coming that I didn't have the speed. And I was walking down that pool deck with the weight of the world on my shoulders. The sexual abuse had now gone on for 3 years. I had been silenced. I had been shamed. And so the weight of that was enormous. And a friend of mine, Suzanne, came, and she felt something, and she shook me, and she said, I know your chances are slim, but don't let this 100-meter backstroke go without giving it all of your soul and your heart and your body. I tell you what, when you finish this race, I want you to close your eyes, close your fists, and say it and mean it. I couldn't have done it a fingernail faster. She said, I guarantee you do it that way, there's nothing more you could possibly do. No matter what happens, you'll have no regrets. I didn't make it. I was going on to the rest of my life, not the esteemed Olympic trials, and I walked across that pool deck. It was a starry night in Florida. I took my heavy swim bag and put it on the deck, and I said to myself, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, you live every day of your life, so you can't live it a fingernail better. Many decades later, I was getting close to 60. I had this great job traveling all around the world, covering the biggest sporting events, interviewing all these people, chasing their excellence, and I am not feeling like a doer anymore. I'm watching all these people chase their dreams, and I'm not chasing any dreams of my own. And I was with my mom one day. She had Alzheimer's, and she said to me, I was the worst mother in the world, wasn't I? And I knew what she meant. And I said, no, Mom, I lied. I said, you were the best mother in the world. And she cried, and I cried, and we held each other. But I knew that was the day I forgave her for not being there for me younger, that she just couldn't do it. She wasn't capable. And that was the day she asked for forgiveness. And when my mom died, something sparked even bigger to say, well, Mom was just 82 when she died, and now I'm going to be 60, only 22 more years. What am I going to do with those? I'm going to go back and chase that maybe impossible dream. Everybody else had found it impossible so far. It had meant much more to me, that swim. It always has, always will, than another notch in the endurance belt. And when I got back in, and I hadn't swum in 30 years, it took tremendous discipline and even agony. It's grueling out there, all those long hours, and not to mention what the body goes through with a roiling sea and a powerful sea, but also what the mind goes through to be in a state of sensory deprivation. You don't see well with your goggles. You're turning your head 53 times a minute to breathe with a tight cap on you. So you're in a state of the interior of your mind very quickly in just 7-8 hours, not to mention 50, 60 nonstop hours swimming. But the truth is, the water itself was very healing. I wasn't any longer swimming with anger. I was swimming with awe of this blue planet of ours in the middle of the Gulf Stream on a summer's night. You can literally see 2 billion stars above you. It's so clear out there. There's no other orb in all of the universe that we know, at least today, that's blue. We have water, and we have DNA and animals and vegetation. We have life. And so I felt that out in the ocean. I felt a connection, and you feel the surge of tides under the steam of your own body, under the engine of your own will, and you feel the lift of the waves sometimes rather than the crash and the barrier of the waves. So I don't know if there's anybody who quite feels the depth of emotion of what I do when I look out at that horizon. That's the way I want to go through every day. Just an unwavering, awake, alert commitment to feelings and to thoughts. And to be quite poetic about it, I want that last day to come, that last breath, and for me to say, I did it all. I did it all, so I couldn't do it a fingernail better.